Hello, everybody. This is Terry here. Like I promised, I'll be doing part 2 of the new book by Priscilla Presley, Softly as I Leave You, Life After Elvis. Okay, the book has 20 chapters. It's over 300 pages long. And I've started reading it and read a big part of it, and that's what I'm going to share with you now. Priscilla says in the opening chapter that she loved Elvis as much on the day she married him as the day she left. She was looking for meaning in her own life as he was also looking for meaning in his life. And this was difficult for her since she had spent around 13 years with him, which is almost half of her life. And she'd never really been anywhere on her own, as she'd pretty much been living for him. For her upbringing, she was supposed to please her man, even not talking out of turn about anything. She's not supposed to even question him. Even if he stayed out all night, he didn't have to explain anything to her. In preparing for marriage, it was normal during those times to have a big age gap. And theirs, of course, was over 10 years. But under 18 was okay. And Elvis was not romantic with her until she was 17 as far as a romantic relationship. They didn't have any sex until marriage at age 21. She said she did everything to please him and had her hair styled, right makeup, the clothes, everything. She did it to please him. So she'd look just right for him. She would stay up all night with him sometimes, and she learned soon that he couldn't stand criticism. And for her to ignore him about whatever relationships, whatever she heard about them, just to trust him. She said that he never abused her physically or emotionally, even though he did have the explosive temper. That he was gentle and tender to her. And he gave her beautiful, nice clothes and lavish gifts. But regardless, she still felt trapped in a cage. She also had the habits of Elvis' entourage of sleeping when he slept, watching TV and watching what he did on TV, eat when he ate, all those habits. That was normal for her at that time. She was rarely at home alone with Elvis. As they were watching TV, there might be 6 of the guys sitting around also watching TV and also eating dinner at the table. So if she wanted to cuddle with Elvis during the TV program, there was a room full of guys right beside of her. And they'd get all excited and celebrate if Elvis shot a TV out. Said the guys talked vulgar in front of her at the table or wherever, and about the girls that were waiting at the gate in line. And they'd always tell dirty jokes. They just treated her like she was one of the guys. If the girls were brought in, then one of the guys might take them, even though they were all married. Due to bringing in all the girls, she felt that she could easily be replaced, and she was afraid to even leave Graceland, even to visit her parents, that she might be replaced when she came home. She was concerned when he went to Hollywood because she heard all the gossip and saw the things on TV, but he reassured her that nothing was happening out there also. And she was afraid for Lisa Marie, especially after she was born, of what was said, that she might hear about it. And then Elvis had no interest in making love to a woman after she had had a child. She says she got pregnant the first time that they actually made love. Elvis met Mike Stone in Hawaii as he was a karate instructor, and Priscilla's first activity was taking lessons from him. And Elvis was real pleased that she took an interest in karate. Not a lot of women were doing that back then. And she was proud of Priscilla for showing off her prowess. While Elvis was away, she was spending more time with Mike, of course, and that led to the affair. Priscilla and Joe Esposito's wife went from Las Vegas to Palm Springs to get the mail once, and the letters were mostly to Elvis, and they were from women. So Priscilla opened up some of the mail, and just as she had suspected, it proved that the men were all messing around. And Elvis got really upset and went off on her for going through the mail and made excuses for all the letters and all the excuses about all the girls said they were lying about messing around or having relationships. By this time, she had a life away, and a relationship with Mike Stone started, and they were both married at the time and both had children. When she was pregnant with Lisa Marie, neither her or Elvis was ready for a child, and she mentioned abortion if he wanted, but he mentioned abortion if she wanted it, but she didn't. When Lisa Marie was born, they both loved her deeply. Elvis really didn't want to do anything about raising a baby or helping out and changing diapers. So Priscilla was attempting to keep 2 schedules, Elvis's and Lisa Marie's, as she was exhausted and stressed out. She got a nanny but felt she should be holding Lisa Marie when the baby needed a mother, like when she was crying. In other words, nurturing. Priscilla made the decision to leave Elvis when Lisa Marie was 4 years old. She spent a lot of time at Graceland with Elvis's grandmother, Minnie Mae or Dodger. They talked a lot about Elvis's parents when they were young and Elvis's growing up. Her husband, Jesse, Elvis's grandfather, always messed around on her, and of course they were divorced later. But Elvis had kept his infidelity hidden from Minnie Mae. Priscilla watched TV with Minnie Mae, mostly old shows and soap operas. Minnie Mae didn't understand why she was leaving. And that's the end of chapter 1. Chapter 2 is Holding On. She said she didn't leave Elvis for Mike Stone, and that Elvis had sex with her one last time before she left, but there was no passion or emotion in it. It was not intimate at all, and it hurt her because of that. She mentioned Elvis getting a hitman to kill Mike Stone. She said she was close to Vernon, and he understood why she was leaving. And she also kept in touch with Colonel Tom Parker, who let her know she needed anything, just call him. She stayed in touch with some of the wives and Joe Esposito and his wife, and also Elvis's cousin, Patsy. Elvis met Linda Thompson 5 months after she left, and he met her at a theater in Memphis. On Lisa Marie's 5th birthday, she and Priscilla went to Elvis's suite in Las Vegas. They were dressed alike, and after the party, they went to Elvis's performance.
Show up my little daughter, Lisa. Jump up. Put your dress down, Lisa. You pull your dress down before you jump up like that again, young lady.
This was the first time that Lisa Marie had actually seen her dad on stage and seen what the frenzy was all about with the women screaming and all that. And Elvis introduced her to the crowd. Priscilla and Lisa Marie were back about 8 rows in the crowd since the first rows were filled with screaming women. On October the 9th, 1973, the divorce proceedings came. 18 months after she left Elvis. After the divorce, she moved into a place in Marina del Rey, California, and her sister moved in with her. She was still seeing Mike Stone, was discreet about it for Lisa Marie's benefit. In the courtroom, Elvis and Priscilla had held hands, and the judge asked them, "Do you really want to have a divorce? Do you really want to go through with this?" She said that Elvis was bloated at this time, and his hand didn't even feel like Elvis's hand. She believed they still loved each other, and she gives credit to Linda Thompson for taking care of him.
We're the very best of friends, and we always have been. Our divorce came about not because of another man or another woman, but because of the circumstances involving my career. I was traveling too much, I was gone too much, and it was just an agreement that I didn't think it was fair to her because I was gone so much and everything. So I, therefore, as decently as you can do that type of thing, we just made an agreement to always be friends and be close and care, because we have a daughter to raise.
After the divorce, she bought a beautiful house in Beverly Hills on 1 acre of land. It was built in 1951, and she remained there for 47 years. It was a good place for Lisa Marie, and Priscilla raised both of her children there. The house is also close to where Elvis lived, so Lisa Marie lived in 2 worlds of stability with Priscilla and completely different from Elvis. And if Lisa Marie was spending time in Graceland, she could do whatever she wanted. Elvis treated her that way, about getting up late, whatever it may be. And Lisa Marie became demanding to the cook and the nanny. She was demanding and once told the cook to make her a whole chocolate cake, and the cook refused to, and it caused problems, as Lisa Marie said she'd tell her daddy and then he'd fire her. Well, she was getting wild for a kid, driving the golf cart everywhere and recklessly. And, of course, the disrespecting of the staff there. Elvis bought her nice gifts like a mini mink coat, and she started keeping Elvis's schedule. Priscilla called and didn't agree with how Lisa Marie was treated. Then Elvis just said, just let her have fun. When Priscilla called to talk to him, he was usually spilling his guts on things like going off on Marty Lacker or some of the staff or his closest Memphis Mafia group. And he was upset about Vernon and Dee's relationship. And he really opened up to Priscilla like he always had, but he wouldn't even let her talk. If she tried, he was overpowering her when she attempted to. She mentioned Linda Thompson leaving him after 4 years and the guys fixing him up with Ginger Alden. She never really knew if Ginger really loved Elvis or not. She had doubts that Ginger could take on the duty of taking care of Elvis when she was only 21. and she still had a boyfriend, so she was making up excuses to stay home at times. That's the end of chapter 2. Chapter 3 is called Separate Ways. It begins with her talking about an identity crisis after she and Elvis split up, but now she could change her makeup, hair color. That was all her choice now. That she had been his wife, really, and nothing more, and was always there to please him, but not to wear jeans, of course, because it reminded him of his impoverished life of growing up. She had done some modeling when she was young, so she was only naturally interested to try to pursue that again. And she was also interested in fashion, and she had a friend named Olivia who had a boutique, and she took designs that her and Elvis came up with and made those. So Priscilla bought into the boutique. And she also had an interview with Ladies' Home Journal magazine that helped her out on focusing on her new life. She said that some of the clients at the boutique were, Cher was one of the most popular ones there, Natalie Wood, Victoria Principal, Liza Minnelli, Barbara Streisand, and even Lana Turner. And Priscilla also designed a line of watch bands. But she felt she became too popular there at the boutique as people were going to see her and asking for autographs, and it made some customers uncomfortable. So she sold her part back to Olivia after 3 years. And then she was able to spend more time with Lisa Marie, and she was still dividing her time before then. She again gives credit to Linda Thompson, but made a joke about Lisa Marie telling Linda that Mommy didn't like her, as Lisa Marie was causing problems. Priscilla became spokesman for a hair products company and was featured on TV commercials, and she was offered to appear in Playboy magazine and Pictorial, but turned that down. In 1975, her relationship with Mike Stone ended after 3 years. Said her identity crisis began when she was a tiny baby, as her real father was killed in a plane crash, and her mother later married the Beaulieu, and she found some papers letting her know that her real father's name was Wagoner, and she had been adopted by her second father, and both her parents had tried to hide this truth from her. After splitting up with Mike Stone, she dated Robert Kardashian, who was an attorney, but it was kind of boring since he worked all week and was tired by the weekend, and all he wanted to do was to watch a movie and eat popcorn. She was introduced to him by Joni Esposito, Joe's ex-wife, as she was dating Robert's brother, Tom. Robert was also close to O.J. Simpson. In the book, she pretty much says that Robert Kardashian knew that O.J. Simpson was a murderer. She also had a short relationship with a French-Moroccan hairdresser, but it was extremely jealous, so that relationship didn't last. She took a trip to France with a wealthy older gentleman, as she was naive and wasn't afraid of him, afraid everything was going to be innocent, but then it wasn't that way, what was expected, so she flew home after explaining to him. Elvis called her one time at 2 a.m. and she was in bed with Robert Kardashian, but he was asleep, but Priscilla answered the phone immediately and talked to Elvis away from the bedroom, and she never let Elvis know that she was sleeping with Robert Kardashian. That's the end of chapter 3, and we'll soon continue with the book, Softly as I Leave You, Life After Elvis by Priscilla Presley. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you like the book review. And again, thank you very much.